It has been a great pleasure and a great honor for me and my team at Field Operations to work on the very challenging issues at the Tidal Basin. Our approach has been to help to construct an argument for the urgency of new investment, as well as to paint a picture of what a new vision could be. So we created 3 future scenarios that articulate an argument about why the tidal basin is important and different approaches towards shaping its future. The first scenario we call curate entropy, or curate the inevitability of flooding, decline, and decay. In this scenario, nature takes over the tidal basin, and one example here might be Alcatraz, a ruin that tells a significant story. There is a sort of charm and memory in the ruin, and there are instances of this in the tidal basin already today. So in this first scheme, we propose an elevated circular walk or a naturalized tidal marsh. We expect increased flooding over time, from which new wetlands and woodlands would evolve. The geometry here is clean and classical, while allowing for a seamless pedestrian and bicycle connection with the National Mall, which is now protected by a large earthwork along the northern perimeter. The monuments in this scenario will gracefully age and decay. Melancholia prevails, sitting as entropic ruins in natural time, where daily flooding is absorbed as part of nature's cycle. The elevated circular walk puts people in a new relationship with the monuments and the surrounding landscape. The vision is definitely melancholic, perhaps even dystopian, with views across the marshes to the skyline of DC. And perhaps in 50 years or so, we might expect a different vegetational character as we move towards more of a Gulf Coast climate. Our second scheme is the island archipelago, which allows the waters of the Potomac to flood the entire tidal basin. Here we have created a series of islands that function as gardens, surrounding the existing monuments and protecting them from flooding. The islands are shaped and sculpted to protect the monuments and emphasize their relationships. Jefferson is on axis with the Mall, MLK on axis with Jefferson, and FDR sits on its own island. The islands create a totally new landscape, a vivid and compelling destination, connected through various bridges and pathways, and again, integrated with the National Mall, tying city to river. We see the islands as spectacular gardens, highly cultivated horticultural showcases, scenographically framing important views and vistas. So what you get is a newly created bucolic pastoral landscape with topographical hills, significant new gardens, bridges, walks, and new experiences. A totally new and fantastical place. The final scheme, which is perhaps the most practical, is called Protect and Preserve. Here we propose a new earthwork levee along the Potomac, shaped and sculpted to protect the tidal basin, the monuments, and the National Mall. The earthwork ribbon is planted new with majestic canopy trees, which are increasingly important for shade in hotter times. The earthwork sculptural form allows for significant new parkland, trails, amenities, and increased space for visitors. Of particular interest might be the promontories and amphitheaters that can be sculpted into the parkland ribbon. On both the Potomac side, with a new esplanade, and overlooking the tidal basin and skyline of DC beyond. Here you see panoramic framed vistas from city to tidal basin out to the Potomac, while the interior basin is fully preserved with a new visitor center under the earthwork to the left. The cherries and existing monuments are all restored and preserved. Plantings are enhanced, pathways are extended, cycles of use expanded, in now a more broadly activated landscape that also protects the city, with significant new vistas and overlooks and landscapes to increase visitor experience and visitor appeal while protecting the city from the inevitability of climate change.